Well, welcome. My name is Kevin. Thank you for the opportunity to take part in this video. This is a Birthright Israel Fellows introduction to me. Last year, 2017-2018, I was fortunate enough to go on the Birthright Israel program to Israel. 10 days. Outstanding experience. Loved every aspect, from the Golan Heights to Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, and all the friendships that I met along the way, as well as some of the camp counselors. Some of the Birthright Israel fellows were outstanding, and I think that's sort of why I'm here. I'd like to pay it forward and do that role now and let some of these other guys see Israel while I sort of steer them along the way and provide some insights. And I think that would be just a wonderful opportunity to get back. So the first question is, what unique qualities do you bring as an applicant? Well, I think that I've had at 27 years old, I've had a pretty good young professional experience working for a few different Fortune 500 companies, as well as a startup that I co-founded and restaurant manager on the north side of Chicago. So you can see I've got some really good communication experience, some good business experience, but I don't think that's it. I think it's somebody once told me, a former employer once told me that, Kevin, you could get along with the world. And this really meant a lot to me because what that says to me is, you know, any walk of life in the international community, doesn't matter who, lifestyle, education, background, I could, basically I could get along with you. I'm very good at feeling people out. And, I love interacting and getting to know new people, and especially visiting other places and keeping an open eye and an open heart, and that's really important to me. So next, I think one of the things that I bring to the table is just leadership quality. I can kind of rally the troops and get everything together, so to speak. Just make sure everything's orderly and clean and organized. I've got a lot of experience doing that, so there's a number of things that I think I would probably say that I'm skilled at, and they're kind of intangibles, right? So, as an entrepreneur, you have to be creative, and that's definitely something. I can always have fun. You put me anywhere. I'm good at breaking the ice, so that's definitely something that I think would bode well for this experience. Next, if I was taking someone to Israel for the first time, where's one let's see, what is one experience you'd like them to have and why? Good question. I think there's a number of experiences that I would like someone to have in Israel for the first time. There's really not even enough to do it all in one trip. But Birthright does an excellent job. If there was a way to do it all in one trip, it would be this, itinerary. So I loved the Golan Heights. It was an amazing experience, just walking around, feeling very safe, being in the presence of so many different other people from across the Middle East, the Arabic community, and it's so beautiful. You overlook, you got Syria and Lebanon and Jordan, and it's just magical. Like, you just feel, if there was a place to feel at one with God, it would be there, I think. And then there's other places, like Zvat is a very holy city, very old Orthodox kind of city, and that was cool for me, based on kind of how I grew up, So that was definitely interesting to see those old temples and just see that old architecture and the rolling hills of Jordan that it overlooks is just it's awesome. So those two places would definitely be somewhere I'd like to show somebody, and kind of the road less taken was shown to me by some people that were helping out with Birthright trip. I think they were former IDF soldiers, and they were awesome individuals, and I still kind of keep in contact with them today, actually. And that's kind of the Tel Aviv nightlife, not necessarily the social drinking nightlife, but just kind of some restaurants and some places, because Tel Aviv is a great mix of the old and the new. And that's just because it's got so much there, and the international community. I met people from Italy, all across Europe, Russia, in Asia, and Poland and Europe, and even some South Africans in Tel Aviv. And so it's really cool that it's right there, and there's so many great places, so many great destinations for your nightlife that don't all have to be, about going out and drinking necessarily, because, you know, sometimes different people like different things, and it's important to show people definitely something more creative. I think, and the road less taken can definitely work for some people. Um, I loved it. So a quote. So I do have a good quote. It's by Adley E. Stevenson High School. Go Pats. So it is not the years in your life, but the life in your years that counts. And I think that's very important. I'm a journalism and a business grad from University of Missouri, and we like to kind of live life to the fullest and also be very creative while we're doing it because, you know, sort of we're inventors, right? Like it's important to kind of create your own life, do what you're happy doing, find something you're passionate about doing. And this quote speaks to that. I think um, it's really a great quote. What I loved about going to Israel is that you met actually a lot of people like this. They were kind of just chasing their dream, wanted something different, and so they moved to Israel. One guy opened up an art gallery. We were fortunate enough to hear him talk and buy some of his artwork. Even he's actually a University of Michigan grad, Ann Arbor, and he's got a fantastic art gallery in Zvat. And so those stories I think are really cool, and just kind of being free, somewhere new, and where you can trace your roots and really just feel at one with God and the world, and it's quite surreal. So that's a quote that I really love. Of course, Adlai Stevenson, was former UN representative, former U.S. representative to the United Nations. Um, he was probably famously renowned during the Kennedy years, but named after the high school named after him here in Chicago. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, I think this would be a great opportunity. I can't wait to hear more about it, and I think it would be a great thing to give back and kind of pay it forward. So looking forward to hearing more. Thanks.